Welcome to episode 91 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Jeez, we're getting up there in those numbers.
Yeah, getting old.
Triple digits soon, yeah. Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this. Like Donald said earlier, it's a brisk fall Pittsburgh day, so thanks for joining in. As you see, we got the Triple Threat edition here. Me, Donald, and Jason. Steve's off this week for Father's Day weekend. We'll be back with us next weekend. Gentlemen, how are we doing
today? Day off. Give you an excuse.
Doing good. Just glad the weekend is here.
Absolutely.
The title's just now coming to me.
Explain the title.
What happened in wrestling, man?
You didn't see that earlier when we got the email through?
I didn't see the I seen when we logged on. It didn't click. I'm like, okay.
It was getting to that point in the week whenever I was just like, all right, there's like no title yet. So go ahead, explain the title, Kiss Your Eyes.
Alicia Keys' song, You Don't Know My Name. The lyrics are baby, 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 when the day I met you, the first day I saw you, I really, really want to catch your eye. And I've been singing Kiss Your Eyes for 20 years. Song came out in 2003. Yep.
Yeah.
19 years. I've been singing the wrong lyrics with my whole heart and soul, putting everything into it. And the day was a day I thought, that don't sound right.
Everybody has that song, right? They don't know the lyrics to, but they just sing whatever lyrics they can make up, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's catch you to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm still singing wrong.
What are some other songs that you guys sing the wrong lyrics to that you know of?
I think Ed Sheeran's Perfect. There was the one part where something, and I always say like on the cross, but it's actually in the grass.
Okay.
And then I finally looked up the lyrics and I was like, hold up, it's the grass the whole time? I thought it was cross. I thought he was getting like, real spiritual there.
And that's the thing, because depending on the artist too, you don't know like what the message is for that song. And it's like, so you hear a lyric and you're like, okay, that fits. And then sometimes you hear the new one and it's just like, I don't know about that.
It's not the cross? Damn.
No, it's not the cross. No, it's grass.
Well, he got two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's grass. And grass makes more sense with the song than cross. Yeah, that's the only one I could think of. Everything else is like spot on point.
Okay. Now we're just spot checking ourselves every week.
Sing this tune for me.
That's why I give people credit, like whenever they go on like the forget the lyric shows and stuff like that. It's like, because sometimes they do like throw like some of the tricky ones in there. It's like okay, you knew this lyric, good for you. Like either like when we were growing up, you bought the cassette or you bought the CD and it had the lyrics in there for a lot of the stuff. It's like now, like that got away after a while.
Yeah.
It then just became like a single sheet inside. But now, of course, you have to look it up online if you want to find the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't trust them half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because different lyric sites have different lyrics. So
yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. So who is the official one?
Yeah.
You got to go to the artist's website, and their actual page to find it, or.
And some of them, they do that on their YouTube channels where they'll put like the lyric video.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So speaking of music, a couple things that caught my eye this week. Rumor is Lady Gaga is being cast in Joker 2 as what's her name?
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Oh, that would be great.
Fingers.
She could play the hell out of that part. I can already see it.
But the interesting thing is that they're talking about this being a musical movie, which
No.
I mean, I didn't like Joker. I wasn't a fan.
I still haven't watched it.
I know there's a lot of people that really did enjoy it, and if they made it, I think they made it that way just to be artistic, because it wasn't thrown out there to be a DC movie.
Yeah, it was more dramatic.
Yeah, like it was to be an artistic movie, so it could go up for awards and different things like that too. But no.
But it being artistic, do you think you could throw a few songs in there? Not make it a full blown musical, but like throw a number or two of hers in there.
I think they could. If they don't make it a full blown musical, I'd be okay with that. Because like if it's going to be based like in Arkham, where she's his doctor, to get that all started, I think you can do like some musicals in there, just the whole like mental health and stuff with that.
Yeah.
No, you don't want like a full musical like in a Hawkeye, when he's watching himself be in Avengers.
Yeah. I don't need him going out like actually doing something and about to blow a building up and just start singing and dancing.
Right into a tune.
Yeah. But like maybe if it's just on her end, that might be cool too, because that could limit it. But
I'd be definitely down for that.
No, it can't be no musical.
Our resident hater hates everything.
Including Lady Gaga.
He doesn't like Lady Gaga either, which is
blasphemous.
Yes.
Great. Adele and Lady Gaga. I don't know what's wrong with them.
When they say 9 out of 10 dentists, Steve is definitely.
And if he's listening right now, tune in. Provide that feedback. Someone else with in music news. I don't know if you guys saw random that not something we would normally discuss, but the Tony Awards were last weekend, and Jennifer Hudson won a Tony. So she's like still like one of a few people. I think there's less than 20 of them that has the EGOT, which is Emmys, Grammys, Oscar, and Tony Awards.
Let's see that. What is the what was her Emmy?
Was it Dreamgirls?
Dreamgirls will be Tony. Oh no, hold on.
Who would that be? Oscar.
Dreamgirls will be Oscar.
I don't know what her Emmy is then, because that would be TV, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have to look it up.
Yeah. But just something else to solidify her legacy.
Singing the national anthem before Raw. There it is.
And I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, she never when David Otunga was there, she never did anything. And I think everybody expected her to do like WrestleMania or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just
something
never there. They had the opportunity. Maybe the money wasn't there.
Yeah, congrats for her.
Yeah, and then she announced this week that she's going to host a new talk show starting in September.
Everybody got a talk show these days, so that's nothing to clamor about. Sorry.
You had, with Ellen and who was it, Wendy Williams. They're both done now, so I guess there's room there. So
you got to fill the vacuum.
Yeah. And like you said, there's so many of them. Daytime shows.
Yeah, there's too many talk shows. So sorry, Jennifer.
Everything that goes on in the break room, right?
Steve, I don't know how you, or not Steve, Chris, I don't know how you look up this stuff and it's like spot on. I'm struggling. Steve, Chris, let me look that up. Bam.
You gotta Google it. Exactly. Jennifer Hudson Emmy Award.
That's what I typed in Jennifer Hudson Emmy. I need to specify what did.
Jason, I know you're interested in this one. It was announced this week that Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum are going to create a Smallville podcast. So we previously talked about Boy Meets World doing their own podcast. Smallville is going to be the next one. They didn't really specify how they're going to do it, but most likely it'll be like a lot of the other TV shows. They'll watch an episode and discuss it, bring on some of the cast members and talk. But As a big Smallville fan, I'm looking forward to it.
But thing left. How do you cover that area?
Who left?
Didn't Rosenbaum leave?
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
so
he left for a couple
I think
seasons.
he was out season 8, 9, and most of 10. Then he came back for the finale in 10.
Mm-hmm.
No, one that I'm listening to, one of the actresses, she left, but she still watches along with her.
Yeah.
And she just goes along with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of it will be new, and especially the behind the scenes stuff that I'm sure they'll talk about, will be new for him. So, but yeah, that's supposed to start sometime in July. No exact date yet, but definitely gonna check that out whenever it launches. And one other thing for TV that I wanted to talk about, TV ratings for the year came out, and this is kind of a little bit sports and a little bit TV, but the top 10 TV programs for the year. People talk about football and not watching it, but football is still king.
Oh yes.
5 out of the 10 top programs for the year are football. The top 4 are all football, which in order was NBC Sunday Night Football, Fox Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night NFL pre-kickoff, and then the OT on Fox. Those are the top 4 programs of US TV for this year.
Oh, just in general. Okay.
Yeah, just in general. Most ratings. So not specific games or anything.
Okay. What kickoff? What's that?
The other 5 programs on there, 4 of them are CBS shows.
Wow.
And that's NCIS, FBI, Blue Bloods, and The Equalizer. The only TV show that's not a CBS show on here is Chicago Fire on NBC. So if it's not football, CBS is dominating the ratings apparently.
Yeah.
Where's the sense of humor?
Yeah.
What am everybody's depressed?
There is none anymore.
But what good sitcoms are on now, too?
None.
Yeah. I mean, there's some okay sitcoms on.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually good that
stands out.
Yeah. That I actually have to tune in live for. Like, I don't have
There's nothing I'm tuning live for anymore.
Man, it's tough. I don't even watch TV like that. I have one show I watch. That's The Blacklist, and I haven't even started the season yet. That's on DVR. Whenever I'm bored one day, I'll binge it all. But I haven't watched any like legit TV shows at all this year.
Wrestling even gets the half an hour start.
Like nothing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is like everything I watch was like streaming wise, like on a Disney Plus original or a Hulu original, Netflix original. Just like main cable, main networks. Nothing. If it ain't sports, I'm not watching it. Or news.
There were a couple sitcoms that I would tune in live for. Not a lot. Like I like Big Bang Theory, so if I didn't have anything going on, I might watch that live. But now Modern Family, that probably got the same treatment, occasionally. If I wasn't watching anything, I'd tune in for that. But there's very little I tune in live for.
Yeah. Nothing that interests me anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And there's a lot of sitcoms that they really need to step up their game. And
just cycle through and put on another, change out the whole schedule next season.
Yeah, and a lot of, I think we talked about this before too, where in the fall lineup, like this past season, a few of the networks, they even pushed their sitcoms to mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just focused on dramas early on. And then, once, especially if they were new ones and maybe only had like 10 or 13 episodes, then they brought the sitcoms on. But it's like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why networks aren't focusing on sitcoms these days. But
and then what do you see in syndication more? You see more of those, those dramas, TV dramas.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a Big Bang or Friends, where they can run 1 million episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And back to our 10 seasons.
Yeah,
we run it again. Everything else, Law and Order.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. Whatever LL's on, because I'm tired of seeing his face on my TV.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, that used to be TNT's thing. They just ran dramas, Law and Order, Las Vegas, they had a couple of their own dramas there for a little bit, but it was like Smallville even was on TNT. I think Arrow might even have been on TNT and repeats. But yeah, TBS is it. I think TBS is the only network that actually does sitcom reruns these days, because everything else, like USA, it's what, Law and Order and NCIS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that I had for TV movies was for James Bond. 2 rumors came out this week. One, and these aren't new rumors, these are rumors that we've heard for a while, is that Idris Elba and Henry Cavill are in the running for James Bond. I know you watch, Jason, I don't know if you really watch the Bonds all like that, but
I've seen them. I haven't seen the newest one yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Both of them sounds good. I'm okay with either of them.
Yeah. My only complaint with Alba would be his age. He's already 50.
Really?
It's like,
yeah.
Like, okay, like these movies don't come out every year. You know, like they're spread out. Like if he probably does 3 movies, he'd be 60 by his 3rd movie, probably. You know, it's like
they might give him a twofer. That's about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's not that he's not in shape or probably couldn't do it, but depends on what type of Bond they want to make him. You know, where Pierce wasn't, you know, the run and jump, he was the drive and go out and
the swagger
that way.
Yeah.
Where Daniel Craig was the run,
the action guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they might give him the George Lazenby treatment and give him one Bond and call it quits.
If they do that, let's hope he's a lot better than George Lazenby.
Bond is clean shaven, so he won't have that Superman. If he pulls that off, that Superman gaff.
The Cavill will be interesting, especially if he's going back to DC.
Yeah,
you know, DC wants him, so his scheduling is going to be, you know, out there.
Yeah, you pretty much have to like schedule that in advance. Like 1 year it'd be a DC movie, next year it'd be a Bond movie. Next year it'd be a DC movie, next year a Bond movie.
What was it?
It might come back in Mission Impossible.
Was that what it was? Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, yeah.
That's where he had the mustache.
Yeah.
Or, and like last time, they could go with somebody, you know, completely unknown, you know, or not expected. And I don't even know who would be on my list, really. He didn't know, show. This was in the book for a bit. But that's all I had. You guys got anything else?
MLS sounds a deal with Apple to be their exclusive streaming service.
Really?
We've talked about this, you know, with stuff going that route. I hope this is not like a precursor.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
There's definitely more of that coming.
There is.
But, and Steve brought up that interview you listened to with Dana White a few weeks ago, where, you know, Dana White was saying, you know, more than likely in a few years, it'll be like 3 top streamers. You know, everybody will buy each other out with that now. And it definitely looks like it could be heading that way.
Yeah. Remember the NFL said that they was making their own service.
Yeah.
So are they trying to cut TV out altogether and you got to watch everything on the NFL service? Who knows?
I mean, NHL and MLB did that. You know, like not completely cut out TV, but you know, you could watch everything if you subscribed to their app, which was expensive as shit. You know, it wasn't a cheap service, but if you wanted to have access to every game, you had to do that. I'd much rather have it be on ESPN Plus the way they have it right now than have to subscribe to like their own package.
So I didn't read much into it, but I'm wondering if MLS is like straight exclusive streaming, or is it you'll still get your
stuff on ESPN and everything else,
or like your local games.
I don't watch MLS enough to know, so
and maybe that's the reason they can do it, because not enough people watch it to, you know, care about it being moved to a streaming service.
But apparently there's enough, you know, if they're willing to put the money out there for it.
Yeah, if Apple took that route, took them on them, yeah, there's enough people out there then.
And that's a good thing for Apple, because Apple Plus is awful. It doesn't have, like, you can get, like, they have their original stuff, but they don't have like a backlog library like Peacock has or HBO Max has, and things like that, where you can just, where they sign the rights for programming, and it's $5 a month, and there's nothing I want to watch on there consistently for $5 a month. So, like, I like Ted Lasso. That's it. So, like, when Ted Lasso comes back this year, I'll subscribe again to watch it, and then if I want to watch at another point, then I'll subscribe again.
Now, do they drop their shows weekly, or is it all at once? Like
they
Netflix?
Do weekly.
Weekly. Okay, so you have to stay subscribed. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll probably subscribe, a month in advance, rewatch the previous 2 seasons, and then watch the current. Okay. But there'd been a lot. There was like so many Apple deals where you could get like 30, 60, 90 days for free, or if you buy a new phone, you get a year for free. So that's the only way I've really subscribed before, but I don't have a new phone right now or anything, so I'll probably just get the subscribe like myself at some point.
Cool.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, we got a lot to talk about in wrestling, so let's head to bell to bell. All right, so a busy week in wrestling, but not so much actual wrestling. Was there a lot of news from? It was a lot of corporate news this week. And even before last night, I was thinking of the phrase, then, now, forever, together, was what Vince came out and said on SmackDown last night. And as I was thinking of that phrase, I thought, another phrase that he likes to say and has said over the years is, no one person is bigger than WWE. And are we finally at that point to find out if there is one person bigger than WWE or not?
This is shaping out to turn out to be like Steve Jobs and Apple back then. It was like the head of the company going up against everybody else, finding out what's going on. And then that automatic force out that happened with Steve and Apple. That's where I'm thinking this is leading to. I really do.
So if you don't know, and if you're a wrestling fan, I'd find it hard to believe that you don't know that, Vince McMahon's being investigated by the WWE Board of the Directors for the whole reason was there inappropriate funds being spent? That's kind of, I think, the main part of the investigation right now. There was $3 million of hush money paid. Was that personal, private money from Vince that paid, or was it corporate money that was being paid? My opinion is also, the rumor is that this person had a 6-figure job and, got a pay increase whenever some things were when things were going down. It's like, okay, right there, if they got a pay increase, I think like almost like 100% pay, that's corporate funds being spent.
Yeah. That's on the books.
Yeah. That, to me, that's part of it. That has to be included in part of the investigation. But yesterday it was announced Stephanie McMahon is now interim chairwoman and CEO of WWE while this investigation is going on. Vince is still with the company, but will only be creative and will still be at Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. As last night he was at SmackDown and appeared and gave his very brief statement, which I didn't watch, but Jason, you texted what it was. I got home last night and I watched it just to see it. Me personally, I was not happy that he did it. I think that was just to go out to get some cheers from the fans this way that he can go back to the board and say, see, they love me. It's like,
and to get a ratings pop too. Hey, Vince is coming out on tonight.
Vince equals ratings.
Yeah, you had Roman. No, it was already a ratings pop.
Oh no, Vince is bigger than Roman.
Hey, Vince didn't fill that stadium. Yeah, or didn't fill that arena. On a minute's notice? Nah.
You talking about Money in the Bank? Because nobody filled that stadium.
That place was loaded last night. For who?
So the interesting thing I thought yesterday was there was a lot of positive for Stephanie McMahon becoming CEO and Chairwoman, which I'm cool with. I think unfortunately she just took a sabbatical, and like less than a month later she's back in the swing of things.
Do you think that was a reason,
or really was a sabbatical? I think it's all work.
There's the conspiracies there.
Like, look, you can take some time off because you're running things now.
And I don't know if we'll ever know the full story. Like of why she took time off, and was that for this or anything. But the crazy thing to me was all the backlash against Stephanie McMahon after she announced that she was stepping down temporarily. And it's just like people talking about how she didn't know how to do her job properly. Was responsible for this, was responsible for that, blah blah blah. And there was a lot of unwarranted negative backlash against Stephanie.
Agreed.
But then here we are a few weeks later, and now it's all positive. It's just like same people that were probably reporting the negative are now reporting that these people said it's all positive. It's just like, this is why you can't trust things that you hear.
Fans.
I don't know. It's like, and it's not so much necessarily the fickle fans. It's like they talk about the people in corporate and the talent. Talent seems to be okay with Stephanie from the rumor. They're happy. Like a lot of the negative feedback that really came this week, not so much even about Vince, was about Laurinaitis. Now, I've never been a Laurinaitis fan. I don't know the guy personally. I've just never been a fan of.
I don't think anybody has.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of his job as, with talent. And I didn't like him the first time. I really didn't think they should have brought him back the second time.
Yeah.
I just thought like he did such a terrible job of creating talent the first time that why would you bring him back? But that's a lot of my problems with WWE, that they don't learn from their mistakes. They just repeat them again. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Where do you think this is headed?
I think it's going to be a long investigation, just like I think. And just like the stuff I said about with Apple and Steve Jobs, I think this is the beginning of the end of Vince. I really do think that this is it, especially with how much power Nick Khan got in him now and everything. Yeah. I think people's like really going to be looking at the chops and like, this is time to get him out. And I think this is the first page of doing it.
Do you think this will be where WWE gets purchased? Vince owns 80% of the controlling shares of WWE. Can you really remove him from power, without somebody coming in and buying the company? Like,
I don't see them getting purchased nowhere in the near future. Not yet. And if Vince gives it up, I think in the way they're going to do it, he's going to just spread his shares down through his family somehow, some way, so they can still be in charge.
So how would you remove him?
When it comes to this stuff, I'm not exactly sure, but I think that they would have to buy his shares, so he would have to be bought out of the company.
Okay,
and that's 80% share. That's a lot of
money.
That's
a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah,
because you can't just remove him. I don't think he's done anything at the moment
detrimental.
Well, yeah, enough to remove him from power.
No, that's why I said this is just like the opening the book. Like this is this is like probably step one.
Yeah,
See,
this kind of goes back to my argument of I just wish WWE would have never been a publicly traded company. It never needed to be. It was just done because they could do it.
and wanted more money.
It's created a lot more money for the company, yes, but it was never needed. And I just think this is now a problem that wasn't ever expected.
Mm-hmm.
But along with Vince never having a clear succession plan of the company, which they still don't have, maybe now Stephanie technically, just the way that it was thrown together, but that
I
was
remember
never
him
the
saying
plan.
before an interview that it was his kids, but
Yeah,
has that changed?
That's what everybody always assumed it would be,
Mm-hmm.
But when Vince and they would talk about it publicly, there was never like
Okay.
even whenever you do the investor stuff, they 100% say this company is run 100% solely on Vince McMahon, and if something were to happen to him, we are not prepared. And here we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Luckily, this isn't something that he just died unexpectedly, and we don't have a moving plan to go forward. He's still working with the company, and they're day by day they're piecing plans together. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Something unexpected, and
just piggyback off of you saying, since it's a public, company and all that stuff, shareholders have the right to know what's going on with their money, and the books being open, like it is for the public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not always public. They do their thing, like they do the conference calls, the quarterly conference calls, and they do all that stuff. But there's a lot of times where investors go on that call and they'll ask, what's being done with this fund, what's moving forward with this fund, and a lot of times they'll be like, we're not ready to discuss that yet, or we're not going to discuss that on this call. Just like you said, Donald, the investors have the right to know what's being done with the money.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's like they love to play fast and loose sometimes with some of their money, and a lot of it, the past few years is international money that they don't like to discuss what they're getting internationally or what deals they're trying. And I get when they're working on a deal, you can't discuss that.
Yes.
Because it's something currently being worked on. And I always understand when they don't talk about that, but after they do the deal and everything, sometimes they still don't like to discuss the deal. It's just like, that's not how that goes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting though.
Yeah,
it is. I wonder is the product itself, is that going to suffer because there's
can't suffer any more than what it is? And I'm making a joke on that, but I'm not making a joke at the same time because the product's rough.
Yeah.
Like we like Steve constantly talks about, they're not making stars. Like maybe it is time for someone new to come in.
Yeah. Give a different look on it,
Yeah.
Get an outside view, outside idea. Something like we talk about the Steelers all the time. With their management.
Like, yeah, I mean,
you say making stars. What do you mean by that? Because in wrestling, if you're saying that in wrestling, nobody's making stars.
Making stars to the point where here we have SummerSlam and Brock Lesnar is being brought in again, not giving a fresh matchup, giving a recycled feud. A feud that we've seen enough times that we don't need to see it again. That we already saw this year.
Is Theory a guy they're making a star?
Could possibly be.
Because right now they're relying on wrestlers in their prime.
Yeah.
I mean, what young stars are you going to put in that position? None. They got to mature and get there.
I'm going to always go back to, you had the chance to make Big E a bigger star than what he was by defeating Roman Reigns, and they didn't do it.
But there's still that possibility. Well, there was still that possibility.
There is that possibility. But you had.
But Big E's a star.
He was a star already. Yes.
Yeah. Big E's a star. So you're saying they're not making stars?
To make him a main event star, and they put him in the main event, and he won the money. He won the Money in the Bank. He won the WWE Championship, and it's cool. And we can his run with it, is a whole other argument. But I think if to make him actually a bigger star and actually a main event star, other than being a star with New Day, they had that opportunity to make him that face and a face of the company. That's what I mean by a star. There's not a whole lot of faces of the company.
But there's not that in AEW either. You're not making stars.
Oh, let's not get on that.
So it's like bring up Vince doesn't know how to make stars, but yet they're at the top of the game. Every now and then you'll see somebody run on through, like Bianca Belair, star. Thing is coming. Who is it? What's her name? Not Evans. Ripley. Ripley's coming.
Yeah.
Just on the guy's side, you just have too many. On the guy's side, you just have too many seasoned veterans that you can rely on. Those stars are already made. Seth Rollins is a star they made. Roman Reigns is a star they made. So everybody keeps saying Vince doesn't know how to make stars. Then that's all across wrestling. Because if those aren't stars, wrestling doesn't have stars at all.
I'm just thinking with them, when does it come to the point where you're not relying on them so much?
On who?
Like Roman or
you're still the guy.
Or a Rollins.
When you going to put Seth Rollins out?
Never.
For a while.
They can still go. They can still give you top quality.
Yeah.
Made stars.
But to a point, you have to have like 1, 2, maybe 3 guys.
Theory's coming in.
It would like infiltrate that. Yes, Theory. Yes, I'll give you Theory. Mm-hmm. Who else?
Lashley's a star.
There's 2 shows.
Lashley's a star that they made.
They tried Drew. It failed.
Drew's a star.
Yeah.
We hate Drew. Drew's a star. I mean, granted, he went out and made that himself and came back. But you have these stars. Everybody keeps saying they don't know how to make stars, and here we are listing off stars, main eventers.
I like your argument there that Drew went out, made himself a star, and then came back an established star. Because it would be the same thing with AJ Styles. AJ Styles was already a star, and they just brought him in. Mm-hmm. Cody established himself. They didn't create Cody,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a problem with AJ, Cody, or, Drew. I got a little bit of a problem with because they still keep pushing him, even though time and time again you see it's not working.
He need to turn heel. That's what it is.
Do you think that would work?
I think it might
with him
for a minute.
Because he was heel before,
Mm-hmm.
before, not current run, but
the face turn worked.
Yeah, it did.
It worked for a few months, and then
because he was fighting Brock,
we got tired of it.
Do you think had it not been the pandemic, would Drew have gotten over better?
I think so, because fans would have been there.
Yeah.
To buy in on it more.
And they have tried to bring him back in the fold, with fans, and it never clicked again. But, sometimes it just doesn't click, unfortunately, it can look great on paper. And then once it actually gets put out there in front of the fans, sometimes it just doesn't click, and nothing wrong with that. It's just the way entertainment goes. How many times do you watch movies and the trailer looks amazing, and then you go see the movie and it's just like, well, that was a piece of shit.
Who doesn't it click with?
The fans.
In-house it clicks. But it's just people like us who's just like, hey, we're tired of it.
But just because the fans chant, like for, something with a person, does that really mean it's over?
Oh, Rusev? Zack Ryder? My arguments?
Those are actually 2 really good ones, because those are 2 people that, we wanted, but they never put over. They gave them some TV time because the fans were doing it, but they never actually put them over. So those are good ones as example of just because the fans are cheering doesn't mean it's going to equal anything. Because if Rusev was really that good of, if the fans were really behind Rusev and they really thought Rusev was worth money, Rusev would still be in the company.
Agreed.
But for whatever reason, and I'll give you Zack Ryder, because I enjoy him. He entertains me. I enjoyed his stuff. There was a ceiling for him in the company. But even whenever they got to that point, like where his ceiling was, they didn't do anything with him. Okay, we're going to give him, what was it, the U.S. title?
Yes.
Whenever he was like at the head of his popularity. All right, let's have Kane push him off the stage.
It had Cena come in.
Yeah.
Remember Cena was in
like,
on the
do a
story
love
too.
triangle. It's like, what do you need to do this for? Like, no, that's not what the fans want. That's just what you're doing just because. You're doing something with him just because.
To go back to the original thing, with Stephanie being in charge, does Triple H have a new title, or is he doing anything?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
I haven't heard any change with them. But I honestly don't know what exactly his title is these days. Because before he was, and again, even before his whole health scare, his title was changing anyways. Because at one point he was head of talent relations, he was head of live events, and he was head of something else, and on top of NXT.
Okay.
So he's Laurinaitis came in a couple years ago, became head of talent relations, so that was one title off him. Jeff Jarrett's now head of live events, so there's a title that was removed from Triple H. So I think all I know for sure that he's working on is the NIL stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if that's it or what, but I know that's what he's working on, which is a good spot for him. I'd actually like to see him be moved back, because I think the NIL stuff works well with talent relations. I think he should be put back in as head of talent relations. If they don't want him doing all of talent relations, if it's too much for him, hire a vice president then or something. Let him be the boss of talent relations and do the NIL stuff, and let someone else be the go-to person at Raw and SmackDown, to handle the day-to-day stuff of talent. But, another interesting thing, and whether this is true or not, and I think it'll be something that will have to be played out, and we'll see along with this investigation goes, is there's a rumor that Kevin Dunn might be investigated for insider trading, because which Kevin Dunn's head of production, if you don't know, Kevin Dunn apparently sold stock last month, like millions of dollars worth of stock, and there's rumor that could have been sold because he knew what was coming with Vince, because he's basically one of Vince's right-hand guys. So,
Martha Stewart.
If that's true, that's really, I mean, if he goes, if they do the investigation, he goes because of that. That's a whole new change to production.
Yes, it is.
That'd be a welcome change.
Yes. Hopefully, no more in and out with punches.
Freddie Prinze, what you doing?
Yeah. So you got main guy, you got head of talent, and at least head of production that will be investigated. Most people, the rumor online is most people think Laurinaitis will be the fall guy for this.
Of course.
But how is Laurinaitis the fall guy for this is my question. Yes, he can be, anything can be done, but he's technically not the one that probably made the payments, or, he's a part of it. And I could see the unprofessional conduct to remove him from his position. But, you got 3 power players in WWE right there that could be gone out of this situation. Not saying, for me, I'm not saying I'd miss a lot of it, but the only one I'd probably miss out of it would be Vince. But to a point, it'd be a welcome change for the company.
We shall see.
Yeah. You come up to Stafford headquarters and Tony Khan is there.
The name on the contract does read Khan. One of the things I didn't like this week, and I don't know if this was WWE trying to do this or if it just came out at the time, is I kind of felt like I want to say it was like Thursday night. The rumors started coming out that Sasha Banks was released, and it was just like, all right, are they doing this at the same time just to kind of try to turn that page? Like, okay, we're going to talk about Sasha Banks now this way that we hope you don't talk about Vince and all this going on. There still hasn't been a release, official release of saying anything about Sasha or Naomi. I think yesterday they were talking that people noticed that Naomi was moved to the alumni section of the website and then she was moved back. Still no official word, but it's just like, okay, was that the internal WWE team trying to release some more information just to be like, okay, smoke and mirrors, look over here now while this is going on.
Oh, of course. That's corporate 101.
I don't trust anything from any of the backstage people. I don't trust dirt sheets at all. It's just
And again, for me, just like I said a couple weeks ago, I still think it's working until I actually see something.
I can get that.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, there's, everybody expected, new tag team champions to be crowned. Right now, there has, if you go on the WWE website, it's still just vacant, but, will it just be quietly retired at some point, if they're not going to do anything with this? Or are they, maybe they have something in the works. Maybe they're just trying to figure out the players to what to do with it. But
I think they have something in the works. Because you always have a plan ahead, right? Maybe they're trying to get to that plan through whatever will happen. Because you aren't going to retire those belts, and like how you just say, scrap it, just off that. If you had plans going forward,
But if the rumor is true that Vince never wanted the titles in the first place, now's the perfect time for him to be like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm for the argument that they've done exactly what I've expected them to do with these titles.
You did say
that's
that.
nothing. I didn't think the titles were a good thing when they first announced them. But I get, and that's a whole other argument with AEW, which you guys kind of touched on last week, is you don't need more titles sometimes. Another title doesn't mean anything. I get it. I get what they were trying to do, but I don't know.
To me, it was good up until they left the Thunderdome.
Okay.
I want to say it was enjoyable, like through Bliss and Cross, the Iconics, Sasha and Bailey, and then now it's just like you're releasing talent, and now you're just mashing together
teams,
pairings. Yeah. Now it's become nothing.
Yeah.
Like I think at a point it was good.
I guess it's like a catch-22 of no matter what you do, it can come across being the wrong move in a women's tag team division, because on the whole of the women's division, there's not a lot of players. There's enough players for titles, like the main title, but whenever you add in that secondary title, then you got to create tag teams, and then we always talk about how they're just two people being formed together, not like a true tag team.
Yeah,
and I guess in a way you have to do that because they have to be interchangeable between the tag division and the title division. Because if they're just a solo tag team, then you're just only keeping them in that tag division, and there's only so much you can do with that.
Then in women's wrestling, you have no true tag teams.
Yes,
there's only two, and they're down at NXT.
Iconics at one point.
Tell me two.
Total in WWE, you had the Bellas and you had the Iconics that were technically, could be considered tag teams.
Yeah.
The Bellas weren't around for the tag titles. If they were, they would have been champs. The Iconics, they did get the titles, and they were the only one. They held it for a good amount of time.
You didn't see it on TV. You saw it on Main Event.
Yeah. And that was a whole other argument whenever they created the NXT tag titles, women's tag titles, because I didn't see the need for that. Because NXT was supposed to be part of that division.
Yes,
true. That title was supposed to be off of
it was supposed to be
Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Yeah. And it's like, so you limit the amount of talent that you can put in by creating that second set of tag titles. Because if the champions would go on NXT, you can create those new tag teams down NXT. Try different things out and see who do we want to move to the main roster. Who's working or whatever, and then you can move them up and then do the storylines on there. But so then if you retire those, do you just keep the NXT women's tag titles? Because it's like, or maybe do you unify them and get rid of one and just focus maybe on the WWE and do what you said at the beginning. I might actually enjoy that more.
I'd enjoy that more if they did that.
Yeah.
After you break up Toxic Attraction.
Is that going to be, do you think that's going to break up, or is that going to be something that moves to the main roster?
I'm hoping it's used for the main roster.
I think all three will go up main roster together.
It works.
Because I think they need that.
They do.
Yeah.
It's one of those things on NXT that has consistently worked. In this new era. That you can sit there and see, yes, this could work on the main roster.
Yeah. My only thing is they won't be as big as the biggest star.
That's always going to be.
You'll just have a low-level faction, which, I mean, I want them to come in and wreck shop on everybody, but you can't see Toxic Attraction doing that.
Yeah, I could see maybe the tag team in Toxic Attraction. I just don't know if I could see. I think Mandy could be a star on the main roster again.
Oh, definitely.
Because of what she's done down there. I just don't know if she's going to come in and be able to unthrone a Ronda or a Bianca or a Becky, depending on who's champion at the time.
Yeah.
For Charlotte when she comes back.
Yeah. Because you have those highly established women in that division. Yeah. And as good as Mandy is, you have to do a lot on the main roster to prove her on there first before she can unthrone anybody, I think.
And then, they'll bring back her story with Sonya. They'll start rehashing old stuff.
Yeah.
Otis? 2.0 Otis?
And you'll bring it up. Even though the slate's supposed to be clean,
Yeah.
We'll go back to Sasha. I think her stuff I think she'll eventually will get released. Yeah, eventually will get.
You see her wrestling again.
Yeah, I think she got so much stuff going on with Hollywood too, like phone calls and that stuff. Like come to Hollywood, that one little thing on Star Wars, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Once you get a taste of that,
you get the itch.
Yeah.
It depends on who's calling. If there's legit offers, then I could see her doing that. If it's just, I don't know, like WWE film style stuff, don't do that. But I mean, her and Vince had these arguments before. So cooler heads prevailed over time. She took months off before that came back. Not saying it couldn't happen again, but I don't know. Only time will tell. On the whole situation, but I'm not saying that she's definitely gone, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't release her too at the same time.
Yeah.
If that's truly what she wants.
I don't think that's what she wants, but
yeah. And right now, that's probably one of the things that are on the back burner of the company too. And maybe that's a good thing.
That's the last thing they need to worry about.
Yeah. That might be a good thing right now to let everybody just kind of cool down, do some stuff, and then come back and regroup at another time. Just see See if they can't come to terms on it. Anything else? Anybody want to talk about anything on the main roster this week?
AJ Seth was a great match. I enjoyed it.
Match.
We were talking to Steve after the Impact thing. I was asking him about the main event, and I was wondering if they booked that to the finals. Book that to the NBA finals.
Yeah.
Because why would you not put that on last? Seth and AJ.
Yeah. Instead of the body oil segment.
Of course.
That is a good programming. Probably is why.
Mm-hmm.
Great match. Loved the storytelling to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
Of AJ saying that's for Cody. It's and that's just Bullet Club for life. No, even though they weren't part of it together. That's kind of been the whole story here with the Bullet Club recently. Is that when you're Bullet Club for life, and
that's in all of wrestling right now.
I don't want to say I hate it, but it's like you've seen Seth and AJ, and now you want more. I want to see it again.
Yeah,
but I don't want it like Sheamus and
Drew.
Kofi and I don't even mind Sheamus and Drew because they don't even touch as much, but like Kofi and the Brawling Brothers. I don't want to see a 14-week feud wrestle 14 weeks, but I need to see another Seth and AJ.
Are you saying WWE repeats matches?
Huh? Yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah, that was the ending to Raw, and if that was the reason for it, I could understand that, but it was still just a terrible ending to Raw.
Me and Jason was talking. What did Jason you say? Keep Theory with that open mic headset on.
Because it was like they were like, we're doing a pose, and I'm like, not this again. It's like Dawn said, why is Lars Lashley in all these segments?
He's all
the Mark Henry segments. Why is he in all these strongman segments? And they were like, we're doing a pose down. And I was like, I'm not watching this shit. And then Theory came out with the Bobby Brown microphone, and I'm like, you know what? let me get us a chance. And he sold me on it. It was still terrible, but oh man, he was entertainment.
And it seems to be the consensus that people are like 50-50 on Theory. It's like there's stuff that he does that entertains them, but he not 100% sold to on him. But
and he's 100% hateable.
Yeah.
They've made him 100% hateable.
Maybe because he just has that punchable face. Yeah. Because he runs that mouth, and you just okay, I would love to punch this dude. But did you guys see his stuff that he did about Cena this week?
Yeah,
I've seen the pictures. The pictures, yeah.
Yeah, he did a bunch of photos with the Spinner US title, dressing up like Cena and everything. And so, of course, that's everybody Cena coming for Theory now, and it could be, but I think that'd be an interesting matchup. Kind of got that, future versus past. They do that a lot. So,
is it for Johnny Boy to put him over? Come in and do the work.
I mean, he posted something on his social media too of whenever Owens stepped on the U.S. title when he was the U.S. champ. If you remember that, whenever Owens debuted, and so it's just okay, is that a sign that that's what he's coming to do for the U.S. title now?
Man, Cena put random stuff up all the
time. Cena is such a troll on the internet.
Yeah,
because he doesn't comment on things; he just posts random pictures.
He just posted, yeah.
Which is
great. Just laughing and giggling about John Cena. Yeah. The man we hated.
and I said this last year whenever he came back. When Cena goes away and he comes back, I enjoy the shit out of John Cena. When he was on my screen week in, week out, it's just Cena got old to me.
Yeah.
And it's okay, I'm ready for him to go away. But he comes back and it's just shit, I just want to go buy the new Cena merch and sit there with those kids and hustle, loyalty, and respect. Never give up.
Now, what is that? Is that 2 weeks?
I think so.
2 weeks.
27th?
Yeah, you get a brief interjection into Raw. Or Smack, whichever one he's coming to.
Raw. He's coming to Raw, which they need.
You'll get a brief injection of energy.
Yeah,
and I know Fox is mad about that.
I was just about to say he might even show up on SmackDown that week too. Depending on, I don't know what his schedule will be, but because will he come back on Raw, and will we know what he's doing for SummerSlam then at Raw, or is this going to be something he's going to travel to both shows for a little bit, and they're going to kind of, if you're looking at eyes, like where you're going to, like who you're going to get the most from to hype up the storyline, it's SmackDown. So yes, technically Theory's a Raw guy, but nothing, the way they're doing things these days, nothing says you can't put Theory over on SmackDown just to hype it up.
That's all I have for Raw.
Anything that you guys want to talk about? We can talk about the main event. I didn't watch SmackDown at all, so
I didn't mind Riddle and Roman.
Oh, the match was real good.
Yeah, really? I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, once Brock's music hit, I was like, "Up here we go again."
I mean, I think you had to when 3 of your main eventers are out,
and that we talked about this earlier. We started talking about this setup, and that's a good point, Jason, because rumor was Randy Orton was supposed to get the SummerSlam title shot.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be Riddle getting it now and then Orton at SummerSlam. So maybe this was plan B.
Yeah. Because Orton's going to next year, right?
That's the rumor.
Yeah, the rest of the year. And then you got Cody out for the rest of the
Possibly
year.
The rest of the year.
So everybody's coming back at Rumble.
And Edge's story booked out for a week or two. I don't know.
Everybody's coming back from Rumble.
Edge has got to. I don't know. They could bring Edge back this week, or do you save Edge for Cena week? Just something else to add to that show. Because if you're booking Cena and you're hoping for that ratings pop from Cena, you might as well throw some of the best stuff on there.
I give Edge his own week. And come back full rated R. Superstar.
When they give his time to grow his hair out.
What?
They're giving his time to grow his hair out again.
Do you bring Edge back? And we were talking about this, the dates, but do you bring him back before Money in the Bank, or do you just bring him back at Money in the Bank, or the Raw after?
Who?
Edge.
I don't see him
after.
Yeah, after, because I don't see him doing anything at Money in the Bank.
No.
Because is Judgment Day booked for anything except for Rhea?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so there's no point for him to come out.
So you bring him back the Raw after Money in the Bank. There you can hotshot the stuff for SummerSlam. Because it's going to be Edge versus Finn.
Yeah.
So they better not even do Edge versus Damian Priest. Better not give me that shit.
No, that's your...
You can give me that on Raw, but
that's your opening bout for SummerSlam. Edge versus Damian Priest.
That could be pre-show. No offense to Edge. All offense to Damian Priest.
I had a question about Roman.
Yeah.
Do you think the time off is character? Or is it like, did they book it like this, or did he is he taking that time off?
Rumors it's him.
Is him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the rumor. Oh.
Okay.
So it's him. It's not the character, it's him.
Yeah. It's Roman that requested.
No, he sent out you made me take time out of my day to hop off my private island. I was like, it's like you're kind of making him more of a hateable character again. Mm-hmm. Is it him, or is it storyline? Okay.
Which he should be, because he's getting too many cheers. He's getting too many cheers to be a heel. Mm-hmm. But he's an entertaining heel.
And I'm the complete opposite, where
Yeah.
I've had enough of Roman as champ.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because he was off, but he was still working like house shows for like the whole month of May.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it was just like him not being on the main roster to be character. I'm too good for this, or if it was just him taking his own personal time. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, because he is off house shows, and the rumor, when that whole thing started where he said his goodbye at the house show, was that okay, is Roman going Hollywood? Maybe there is something. Maybe that's he's been off for a few weeks, so maybe there is something that he's working on. There's been no official announcement on anything, but maybe he is working on something.
He may have his cousin's agent.
Yeah.
You know that.
I mean, he could be doing something. He's right now not technically booked for Money in the Bank, so he's booked for SummerSlam. So you have almost a whole month again where he might not be on TV.
So if this is the case, are we running with a Brock type champ, or are we going to take the belt off of him?
But who do you put the belt on?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't want it back on Brock.
it looks like it's probably going to be a Brock type champ, and then and there's a good thing there. Like, do you really have Roman beat him back to back in the same year? Like,
to be the guy, yeah, but I don't.
Whoever wins that match, Seth is cashing in his Money in the Bank.
That would be good. That would be
again.
Really good.
Again.
So,
and I'm not even just saying Seth. I'm saying anybody that whoever the Money in the Bank champion is.
It's Seth.
He's the only one right now. Yeah, that you could.
That's it. Out of the three people who's in it, the only one.
And I know some people hate on Seth, and I think Steve is one of them where he talks about the laugh and everything every week.
Oh,
Seth entertains the hell out of me.
Yes,
so Seth as champion again, I'm all for.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be there consistently. You could put him on both shows if you wanted to, or just hop back and forth depending weekly
until everybody comes back.
Yeah,
and then try to get back on the same boat.
You gonna carry two brands?
He did before.
Yeah.
He did before.
I mean, if.
But then you're feeding a lot of people to him then to get to that point. So, a lot of title matches are going to be like, you already know the outcome.
Yeah. But you're going to see some good title matches, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No matter who they put with him, he's going to have a good match.
Like you said, you wanted Seth and AJ.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, depending on where they give that. If they give that to us first feud, you know the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, you give that like at Rumble a few months into the title run, you could guess what the outcome is going to be, but you at least have that suspension of disbelief. Like they could actually put the belt on AJ here.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Anything else on the main roster?
No.
All right, we'll head over to the land of AEW, which for me, Dynamite this week was hit and miss, consistent. I mean, it definitely was not one of my favorite episodes of Dynamite. There's some good spots to it, but I think that for every good spot, there was a bad spot. Like you had a good match, then you had, a shitty segment. Shitty segment, then had the good match, and
that's exactly how.
Probably for like the past month, AEW's been missing with me big time.
I would probably even say longer than the past month.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's been dropping off big time for me.
Like they'll, and this was a complaint of mine years ago with WWE, where for me it would be okay. Could have missed that week. Could have missed that week. Could have missed that week. Then they would bring back like a really good week. It's like okay, they got my attention again. And bad week, really good week, and that's the way AEW has been. And I put the full 100% full blame on Tony Khan for that.
Yes,
because he's the 100% man in charge for producing this show and everything. So, but there have been some good weeks mixed in there. I felt like the week after Double or Nothing was a really good week. But I felt like the build up to Double or Nothing was shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and it's the same way I feel right now that the build up has been shit to Forbidden Door. And this past week's episode, with 100% sole focus going into Forbidden Door, should have been good build up.
Mm-hmm.
Got you excited for the card. And I felt like they got an F for that. Like they completely failed.
Yeah, that whole face off with Tanahashi and Moxley, that was probably one of the worst segments I've ever seen.
I'm still confused.
Yes, and you should be. Because there was nothing to justify not being confused by that segment.
Mm-hmm.
You have it's Jericho and Tanahashi. Or not Jericho. It's Moxley and Tanahashi.
Yeah.
And you incorporate Jericho for what reason? For him just to come out and announce a match. It'd be one thing if you were trying to do something like to have a Jericho Tanahashi match, next week on Dynamite or something.
Aren't they having a
tag? They announced it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, but not on Wednesday. They didn't say nothing on Wednesday. So he just showed up for no reason.
Yeah.
It'll be Jericho and Archer versus Moxley and
Tanahashi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
you didn't need that segment to do that.
There was no connection in that segment to justify that match other than Jericho coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to me, and the other day, Steve and Jason and I were talking about this after we did our Impact Summerversary predictions. Go back and watch that on demand or listen on your favorite podcast platforms. But the whole point of that segment should have been if the audience doesn't know who Tanahashi is, because they only watch American wrestling. You're going to have those fans that they're AEW fans that watch New Japan and watched New Japan previously that know who he is. But for those fans that have never watched New Japan and don't know why Tanahashi should be considered a threat to Moxley, that was your segment to do that.
Yes.
Get to know the took a shit on that segment.
There should have been get to know the ace right there.
Yeah.
It really should have.
Did they do the WWE move and put the two competitors in a tag match?
Of course they did.
Yes.
To see if they bond before they fight.
And we talked about on our Impact predictions the other night of how Impact TNA was considered for a long time WWE Light. Maybe even still is considered WWE Light.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be the formula that AEW 100% should be like. That is not our formula. And to me, this year, that has been their formula. That they are becoming WWE Light. Instead of being different, they're just taking the formula and running with it. And not in a good way.
Yeah.
Because they need to figure out how to be different. And they're just not providing that. They can provide it in small doses, but consistently and effectively, they're losing me on that.
Yeah. There's not a story in AEW right now that catches my eye at all. Sorry to say, but there's not one.
This pay-per-view is so hyped. And there should be.
And there's just not.
Good, Jason?
No, I was just saying there was matches I enjoyed, but nobody I cared about in the matches.
No.
So that was, I know I like to say you give me wrestling, I at least like to care about the characters involved. Like Ospreay and Dax was great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care about either one of those guys. The ladder match was amazing. I hate the Young Bucks. I hate Luchasaurus. I only care about Jungle Boy.
So I actually watched a video before we came on this morning that it was after the match. So we've had the tease for weeks now that Christian Cage was most likely going to turn on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. He only turned on Jungle Boy, technically. I mean, I guess in a way he turned back on both of them, but he only attacked Jungle Boy. And Jungle Boy's mom and sister were at ringside for the match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And after the match, after he turned on them and did everything, he kind of goes and gets in their face in the crowd outside. And they're both kind of giving him the finger and they're yelling stuff at him. And Christian just looks at the mom and goes, "He's a piece of shit. You raised a piece of shit." It's just like, I was like, this should have been on TV.
Yes.
Like you really want to get him, like you want to make this a heel turn. You do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Give him the heat.
Yeah, because what'd he do? He turned on him and then just raised his hand, like took his shirt off and just posed, and that was the end of it.
Jason was telling me yesterday, it was like, so where does this leave Jungle Boy? It was like, because Christian turned on him and Christian got the pop.
Yeah.
It's what the fans want. They want heel Christian, but if you want heel Christian, what do you want from Jungle Boy?
But they're still going to cheer Jungle Boy.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think it's putting Jungle Boy in a senseless feud. But he's one of our pillars, right?
Yeah.
We're building him up, right? Against what main eventer? Christian?
Who hasn't wrestled consistently, since he was injured last year?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He got injured, September-ish?
Yeah.
Because they were here in August. And then by the time Impact was around, he was injured. So we're almost going on a year, and he hasn't done a whole lot.
Yep. The Jungle Boy's your future, though, right? But we got to see a Punk's champ, right?
Christian, to me, is nothing different than what Sting is.
Exactly.
He goes out there, he's a manager, and then he occasionally does bumps.
I don't know which one would have built Jungle Boy more, but you have them turn on each other. You have either Jungle Boy turn on Luchasaurus or Luchasaurus turn on Jungle Boy. That would the only win for me to build Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy is pure face.
Yeah.
That'll be tough for him to like.
Well, I don't think he has a chop right now for heel.
He's not ready for a heel turn yet.
No, not at all.
Not saying that it couldn't come at some point.
Oh yeah,
because you could easily make him heel to get rid of that Jungle Boy gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
like when the boy becomes a man, and type storyline. I heard it. But, yeah, there was plenty. Like, I didn't like the opening segment was what it was, the match, the hair versus hair. I'm glad they did that in the first segment just to get it over with, and the fans were on with it.
Yeah, another pointless match.
Wasn't a great
I just knew
match,
when they pulled out the Clippers, it wasn't going to be Jericho.
Okay.
If you'd have pulled out some scissors or some beefcake lock or some beefcake shears, I'd have said Jericho. When you pulled out the straight ball Clippers, it wasn't going to be Jericho.
Anytime I see any involvement with Eddie Kingston and Jericho, that reminded me of New Day and the Brawling Brothers. It's just a feud that's just been going on too damn long.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're still going on.
Yeah, it's going on. Yeah, they're just adding people and just still going on. Again, that's a feud, but it's nothing but people screaming at each other.
No.
That's it. It's not doing anything. It's not building anybody. Nobody's going for any title shots or nothing. What is it there? What is it doing?
Yeah, weren't we just clamoring for Proud and Powerful? It was just like we're under your shadow.
When they had the face off with the Lucha Bros,
and you're still under the shadow.
Yeah, I'm still okay with Pride and Powerful and moving forward, becoming champs and all that. It's just they keep being put in stuff that doesn't elevate them. Like what? We'll see what Blood and Guts does, if it does anything. So it looks like we're having 2 Blood and Guts matches in a few weeks. So
this ain't a review Blood and Guts.
Yeah. It just should be, but it'll be an episode of Dynamite instead. But the whole storyline with it, the whole Jericho Appreciation Society, now they have Sammy Guevara in there. Why break up the Inner Circle? You could, and I mentioned that the other day, you could have just had Pride and Powerful break off from them at this point, and it still would have done the same thing. Because was it you, Jason, that said that you think that this is all part of to move Garcia?
No, that was Steve.
That's Steve.
Yeah.
So he was saying like he thinks that you add Sammy to this group, and then that removes Garcia at some point, so he can go with
Blackpool,
the BCC.
Yeah, that could work. That just told me that you have no faith in Sammy anymore. We got to hook him back up with Jericho.
But what were they going to do with him? You know, he was already TNT champion a couple times, so you got to move on from that at some point.
Yeah. Run down on Dark Elevation like everybody else.
So yeah, right now I'll still end up watching Forbidden Door, but I'm not sold on it yet. Not for $50. I'll say that.
No. And is it going to be Cole versus Jay White versus Hangman? It's going to be that.
There's a question there. You know,
because after Wednesday, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, White says no to both of them. You know, Hangman's still calling out for Okada instead of White. You know, but you know, it's like we still don't know what Okada's situation is. You know, because Steve brought up a good point the other day. He said, you know, they're still calling for Okada on AEW, and Okada was announced for the G1. And the G1, we looked it up, runs from July through August. So does he work? Is he working G1 and then taking his time off?
Okay.
Or what? Because everybody assumed he dropped the belt just to take the time off, and they announced him for G1.
So when is Forbidden Door?
Forbidden Door is the 26th, so next week. Next Sunday.
So they still got a week left to build up in matches.
So they got one this week. That's it. So this past week should have been the build-up week to sell the event this upcoming week.
Hey.
So now you're basically, this week you have to build and sell all in the same show.
So the card is still not finalized the week out.
Correct.
With all this talent from another promotion.
Yeah. And all this time from the mention of Forbidden Door.
Yes. They should have gone off. Double or Nothing there should have been something to build up at Double or Nothing. They should have had something.
Yeah, something
to end the show or somewhere in the show to really build it up. They didn't do that. Then you get to Dynamite. And they brought out Tanahashi and they brought out Jay White and stuff like that, but you haven't done enough to build the show at the end of the day.
It did at Dominion. Yes. AEW should have did something at Dominion too.
Yeah.
And then instead of bringing people in to solidify who you're feuding with, you just brought them in to just bring them in, maybe attack random people or
just to see.
Yeah, and then throw together matches. And this is I think where you'll sit there and say, Jason, you know, we should on WWE for doing this stuff.
Yeah,
and we shouldn't on as much on AEW on that.
I didn't want to bring it up,
but yeah,
I seriously thought there was maybe like at least 2 more weeks.
No,
I didn't.
Yeah, so you have Dynamite and Rampage, and then next Sunday, the 26th, is the pay-per-view. Do I think it's going to be a good pay-per-view? Yes. The talent that's going to be on it is going to be good enough to justify a good pay-per-view, to have good matches, because none of them aren't going to do a good match. They're going to go out there and give you it all. The build-up for it is the problem, and what's the fallout going to be? You know, after the match, after the pay-per-view, are we going to continue this? Like, are we still going to see interactions between New Japan and AEW? Because if you don't, and you just end it, what was the point of it?
I mean, the only way to have a fallout is if you switch titles.
Yeah.
Like they said, they're going to do with
the
Yeah.
And that was a rumor a couple weeks ago that Tanahashi was going to get AEW, the interim, and then Page was going to get the IWGP. So now Jay White winning the IWGP kind of possibly throw a loop. You know, is that still going to happen? I think we talked about this, but what do you guys think if Tanahashi wins the AEW championship? Now, granted, it's an interim title. It's not the title. Do you think that's a good thing that they give it to a big star? You know, like an outsider, more than giving it to an AEW star. Now, granted, Moxley wouldn't be my first choice to be the other champion, but
no, I'd like it if Tanahashi won, because they let Kenny grab everybody else's belt and run with it. Why not have somebody else grab their belt and run with it?
And it keeps that relationship. So like you still have to deal with New Japan. So it's just not cut and dry. We're done after this Forbidden Door. You'll still see sprinkles of each other's promotion. So
and that still keep the door open for Tanahashi and Punk.
Yeah, and to me,
The
that
original
has to be
idea.
allowed.
Yeah, the original idea.
Like you build that as the main event for All Out, and you're going to have, in a way, you can have, because if they're going to have a working relationship, you can have that suspension of disbelief. You know the outcome.
Yeah.
But there's always that possibility. Like, okay, do they give it to Tanahashi? But you know the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But with G1 happening, if they at least allow the belts to show up on New Japan programming, at least that gives you, at least their audience and then the audience here in the States that watches it, visibility of the AEW Championship still too.
Mm-hmm.
If they give it to Tanahashi, to me, they booked this all wrong. If you could have pushed somebody, if Tanahashi is slated to be the winner, you could have pushed somebody other than O'Reilly to Moxley, just for Moxley to lose. You could have put somebody in that spot where it's like, look, they can be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
Just not right now.
Daniel Bryan wasn't available.
And
I'm talking about them because AEW is all about making new stars, but I don't see no new stars made.
And if Moxley wins the title, they basically just gave it to him because he didn't have to win the Battle Royal. He just had to fight the winner. He just had to have one match. And it's just like they pushed him to the number one contendership.
Yeah, they put
so it's like it's basically just be like, okay, he's our interim champion. Now, I think there's a little more suspension of disbelief if it's Moxley and CM Punk, for the real championship at All Out.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like you still pretty much know who's going to win. Like,
of course.
I think no matter what, at the end of that pay-per-view, CM Punk's walking out as champion, no matter who the champion is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more so that if it's a New Japan guy going in there, he's just there to do business. But I agree. I think that there should have been someone brand new. But like I would have liked to seen that to push a star. But at the same time, even if they're only going to be technically a paper champion for a short amount of time,
do you want to do that?
Is it worth it? Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have put him on it. I wouldn't have put it on him.
Oh, you just would have had somebody just.
I would still have put it on Tanahashi.
Okay.
If Tanahashi's going to win it,
you would have just had somebody.
Yes.
Different.
Yeah.
Just built up, like hey, this guy can't do it,
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Because it's going to be a good match. Whoever Tanahashi's wrestling.
Oh, of course. But that was called building stars. That's called looking for the future. And AEW don't look forward to that. Not anymore. I'm going to keep saying that forever until I see some results. And I don't see any.
I tell you, man.
So speaking of that, they're, right now the whole MJF thing is still unknown. So whether or not they're pushing a young star like MJF, but they're still pushing Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
And that segment was a piece of shit this week. That was the first, not that the first segment was hot, because I kind of felt like that was just an okay segment. It was hot enough for the crowd, but on TV, it just wasn't anything great. And then you go to the Wardlow segment after that. I was like, well, this segment just derailed the show for me.
When he powered out of 20 guys, the Big Show, Braun Strowman, I was like, I'm over it. I hate that move in everything wrestling.
Yeah.
You power out of like 20 bodies now.
Yeah. Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that should have been done and over with. Once he got his AEW contract, these security guards should have been.
Yeah.
It should have been done and over. But they trucked him back out there again.
Yeah. What they should have just done was that if he threw them over the top rope, they could have been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been elimination instead of having to pin everybody.
Not stacking 4 bodies with some people face down.
But because then it could have been a quick segment. So it's just like, look how quick he dominated all these men out of the ring. Now, granted, all 20 of them could have gone to Wardlow and eliminated him, But, at least you would have had, at least it would have been a little more, it would have been quicker and a little more entertaining, in a way, I think. But but at the end, I don't know if you could have done anything to make that segment entertaining at all.
No.
But Wardlow was still the crowd still cheered him. So, anything else on AEW?
Unlimited Potential last night. He got a little bit closer, but
who's that?
Dante Martin. Dante Martin. I told Jason he's nothing but the main eventer's whipping post now. He took Sean Spears' job.
Okay.
Because the only thing he do is fight main eventers, and he never
Who
wins.
did he fight last night?
He fought Moxley, Hogan.
So you knew going in.
Yeah, you knew going in. You knew going in.
You knew what his job was going in.
But I'm just tired of like the commentary and just be like, oh, he has so much potential and all that stuff, but you know what's going to happen.
Do something with him.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen. He could fight for the FTW title, but he can't fight for no other title, even though he did get that Hangman one title shot, but we all know that was going to happen. That was no suspension of disbelief there. Yeah. So his new name is Unlimited Potential.
I will buy you Dante Martin shirt this year.
I like him.
Everybody does.
I like him, but do something. Yeah. But no, we're gonna hand the belts to like CM Punk.
But unfortunately, because with his brother keeps getting injured.
Yeah.
So it's like, they bring his brother comes back and it's like, okay, we're the tag team's back. We're moving forward with the tag team. Then he gets injured and it's just like, okay, now we got to figure something else out for Dante.
But but when his brother first got injured, that breakout was amazing.
Yeah.
And you expected something.
Yeah.
Like at that Dynamite we went to when he fought the Elite. Mm. And he was looking amazing against Kenny and the Bucks and all that stuff. Where's all that Unlimited Potential?
It's limited.
I see shoulders on the mat every week. To the main eventers.
Call him Sean Spears.
Took Sean Spears' job.
Anything else?
I hate AEW.
I just surpassed me.
Yeah, he really has.
You surpassed me. I'll be enjoying the stuff now.
Man. That flip flop.
We're all taking roles. Yeah.
I heard that comment last week saying I'm turning into the villain.
I just have a couple notes. NWA announced this week they're doing another weekend in August for their 74th anniversary. It looks like they're doing the 74th anniversary on a Saturday and Sunday again, which they did last year. But last year they did night one was the all women's event. Night two was the 74th anniversary. Right now they're just announcing the 74th anniversary is going to be a 2-night event. Mm-hmm. So much like WWE, we're not getting a second all women's event for the company that's saying that, we're giving you the women. So maybe that's a problem. Maybe these women's events just don't draw. That was apparently the issue with WWE, but fans want them, but if they're not supporting them at the same time, if you want it, you got to support it.
It's just like when talent get released. Oh, yada, yada, yada. Where were you when they needed fans?
So we'll see if they change, if they do announce it. But right now they didn't announce it. Mm-hmm. And then former WWE referee Dave Hebner passed away. Mm-hmm. Got his fame from, the infamous angle of the twin referees in the 80s with Andre and Hogan on the main event. So
first twin magic.
Yeah, the original. Did WWE say anything last night? Did they post anything on SmackDown?
Nope.
No. Which I wasn't sure if they would, knowing the whole history there,
Yeah, I didn't know it was both of them. I just thought it was Earl.
Okay.
I
mean, Dave was a referee, but for years, pretty much after that thing, Earl became like the ref and Dave became producer in the back.
Okay.
So, most of his work was just behind the scenes.
Okay.
I don't know. After he got released by WWE, I don't know if he ever worked anywhere else. You saw Earl go to TNA and, and became popular there, but you just never really saw it. At least I never heard of anything about Dave after WWE. Mm-mm. But that's all I had for wrestling this week. You guys have anything else? All right, time for drink of the week then.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, this week's drink of the week. We're taking it back to our youth here. Late 90s, early 2000s. We're going Mad Dog. I don't know if kids today still drink Mad Dog 2020. If that's the thing that they go to the liquor store for. But recently, within the past couple of years, Mad Dog came out with like their spiked punch beverages. We're trying the sweet blue raspberry this week. This thing comes in at 12%. So it's definitely like a malt beverage, punch.
This I guess punch. Yeah, punch.
Yeah.
I may have tried Mad Dog one time, and I'm not even sure if I have. So we'll see.
They had tons of different flavors. That was like kind of like their.
I knew all about it. I just never
shit. You go to the liquor store, if you're buying from the bottom shelf, it's something cheap. So they were always on the bottom shelf. Question I had on this, was it going to be blue drink? And it is a blue drink. Green screen's not out right here. But
it is blue. It is blue. I see on my can.
So typical Mad Dog, still doing colors in the drink, but it has sharing is key. Grab 2 glasses of ice, pour and pass one on to a friend. So this is supposed to be shared, but we're not doing that. We're all going in for it.
12%.
Oh yeah, this is a big boy.
12%. So definitely one of the
reminds me of
we've done.
Man, a Colt 45 juice.
Yeah. You taste the alcohol. I'll say that.
I had to stop to taste the alcohol because I was about to just
power
the whole thing.
You're getting the burn from the alcohol in there. I don't hate it.
No, I don't. I don't hate it. Packs a punch, though.
Yeah. Jason, what are you thinking?
I really enjoy it.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Yes. For me.
Would I drink multiple of these? No. Would I kill one? Yes. I think I'm smart enough not to drink multiple. That might be the key.
Just a heads up, my power's flickering for some reason. So
that's
if we get cut off, you'll know why.
I think Dawn still got control. He'll be the only one on because mine's is.
Are you flickering too?
Yeah.
I'm good. Okay.
No, I like this. I mean, I agree with you, Jason. I don't know if I could drink multiple of these in a sitting.
Yeah,
but hey, we might be going to a graduation party today. Outside. This might not be something bad to drink while you're there.
Might grab a second.
There are a couple different flavors. I don't think they have a lot. I think they only have like 3 flavors. But yeah, I'm cool with this. This is We should have had this before we talked about WWE and AEW. Made the talk real
about AEW.
Yeah, I mean that 12% hits quick.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I like the flavor. It's sweet. Old Mad Dog. I give it a 4.
Same. 4.
I think I'd go with you. I'll give it a 4. I would drink.
I would definitely drink this.
I would drink this one again for sure.
Yes,
but I think I would probably like to try some of the other flavors too.
We got to go on a run soon. Well, we have to go on a run.
If I were a pre-gamer, this would be my start.
That's a good thing. Yeah, this is a pregame. Definitely pregame. Nothing what you need like at the event you need.
Pregame, college, just drinking some of these.
Because if you already tipsy and start drinking these, you won't say shit, and you'll just be.
Let's play some bloody knuckles.
No, not these days. All right, but that's it for Mad Dog Sweet Blue Raspberry. If you had it, let us know what you think. If you haven't had it and you go out and try it, let us know what you think after you try it. Because if you've had Mad Dog, you know what to expect, and all you're getting out of the other Mad Dog is just a more carbonated beverage. So, all right. right, probably a quick edition of This Week in Sports, but this week started the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We've only had game one so far. Avalanche won the other night 4-3 in overtime. Game two is tonight. Any predictions on the Stanley Cup?
Go Avalanche. I'm getting tired to see the Lightning.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Lightning winning. Let's see the young team, the future. Let's see them win something.
And all season, Avalanche was talked about. So this isn't like they came out of nowhere, and are surprised. If they win, this was a consistent team this season, and definitely deserving. But can Tampa get the three-peat? And I'm going with Tampa, but I'm not upset on either team.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tampa, and I like the Avalanche team. So whoever wins, I'm happy with. But I think Tampa might go for the 3 in a row.
Need a change.
Yeah.
And again, I wouldn't be upset if Avalanche won. But, this week we also saw the NBA Finals. Did you guys watch those at all?
Warriors in 6.
No.
You need to play the montage of Steve saying, this series is going 7.
Nah, I'm not a basketball person, so I'm just glad it's over.
I turned it on 54 seconds left. Got the thrill of watching the championship. Acting like I watched the whole series.
The true bandwagon. Like some people we worked with.
Just an old time player, like I was a fan since, but
it's like a bit just like some people we worked with after the Pens won the Stanley Cup, they come in with a jersey and a hat the next day.
Support the team all along. But, I mean, anybody really surprised the Warriors won?
No, because they were good from the beginning too.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
It was just, I guess it was just noticeable that Clay was missing the past 2 years. Or this team would be a dynasty. Or they are a dynasty, but
have more.
Yeah, just because of Steph, they're a dynasty.
Then they say this moves them into the top 10 players of all time.
Okay. All time?
All time. Yeah.
That might have to be a conversation. Do some research on that.
Yeah. I mean, I already know my one, so my list is complete. My list is 1.
Even though I'm not a basketball person, I do have a top 3.
No, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Is Braun in it?
Oh, of course he is. He's my legend. He's my hero.
Is he number 1?
No, he's not even. No.
Dawn's number 1 is Bob Cousy. I just like saying that name.
It's out of Bill Russell, Kareem, and Jordan. You figure out which order it goes.
You said Jordan last. I was about to flip this thing.
Jason, I'm guessing number 1, Jordan.
Yeah, it's number 1 for me.
I mean,
that is the list.
This could be a conversation for a generational conversation.
Yes.
But for us, we are the same generation. So how do you not put Jordan in your top? You grew up with him, he was NBA, really.
If you're a hater, that's how. Yeah.
Where, I can appreciate LeBron, but I don't follow the NBA like I did as a child. I watched it more then than what I do now. So I can appreciate LeBron, but I think, that generation of kids is going to say LeBron probably would be the number 1.
Yeah, that's what they grew up on.
Yeah.
It is generational.
Yeah.
It really is.
So then you take someone like our aunts, uncles, or parents' age, and they're going to probably say somebody else.
Yeah.
And then they might have the appreciation for Jordan or LeBron or Steph.
But they probably hold Magic and Bird higher.
Yeah.
It's like my dad, he likes
or Chamberlain.
My dad likes Bill Russell and Kareem. Those are the people he grew up on. He thinks they're the best. So he doesn't put Jordan above them just because that's his era.
Yeah.
he likes Jordan, but he don't think they're above those two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For us, Jordan was everything. Everything growing up. NBA champion, USA basketball, shoes, Space Jam,
minor league baseball for 2 years,
baseball, golf. When didn't you see MJ in something really?
Pro Stars, Space Jam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Donald, I know you had something that you want to talk about.
Oh yeah, Little Caesars has replaced Pizza Hut as the sponsor for the NFL. So the NFL already went through 2 pizza places in like 3 years.
Are they Papa John's?
Papa John's, right?
It was Papa John's. Yep. It was Papa John's had their controversy. It was Pizza Hut. Now it's Little Caesars.
Pizza Hut costs too much.
Pizza.
Prices going up. You get something quick and simple.
Yep.
Hot and Ready's going to go up to $6 now.
Oh, man. Why not? They're at $5.55.
So
yeah, $5.55. So wait, what's no problem? Tack on another 45 cents. But that's all I had for sports.
I thought
really
$5 was an admission statement, man.
The College World Series started yesterday too. And that's
Okay.
something that I watch. Yeah, I started.
Yeah, messing up my TV.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that one in Westminster now, man.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Notre Dame won last night. Yeah, good games.
Jason, you got anything?
Speaking of Westminster, I seen them advertising on Fox, and I remember when I was a kid, they used to cut off Raw.
Oh yeah.
Westminster.
Oh yes, I remember that.
And I seen the commercial, and it was like, if they do this shit, they run it a different day. They run it on Sunday. It's like this. That'll be traumatizing.
I remember that, and that was during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's whenever you got like Thursday Raw, Thursday or Friday night main event, different stuff like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you didn't know that as a kid.
No,
Yeah.
You was thinking, I'm tuning in every
Monday. Yep.
For Raw.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because Thursday was saved for actual TV back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they did that, like they would always hype up because they didn't consider it like they never hyped it as Monday Night Raw, but on Thursday or Monday Night Raw on Friday. They always tried to hype it up as Thursday Raw, Thursday, Friday night's main event, something like that, to say like it's a big event feel, for you to tune in. And if you go back, the ratings never followed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think those always took a dip for the dog show, but
Not the dog show. So what did you do? You just flipped it to Nitro then.
Yeah, exactly.
You did.
Yeah,
Well,
100%.
mm-hmm.
WCW got your full attention that Monday.
Yes, it did. The 3-hour show that nobody complained about.
Oh no, I complained about it. The thing was, you got 1 hour uninterrupted of Nitro because it was 8 to 11, and then Raw was 9 to 11 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So you always got the first hour 8 to 9. Watch WCW for that full hour, and then I flipped the second hour, and then watched Raw the third, mostly the third hour, or would flip between.
Mm-hmm. It all depends on year what I was watching it. That's how my stuff changed back then. Yeah.
This Week in Sports turns it back into Bell to Bell Part 2.
Of course.
Anything else in sports this week?
Nah.
All right, let's head into One Gotta Go. All right, last week's One Gotta Go was our Father's Day edition of TV Dads, and good amount of voting this week across all platforms, and Carl Winslow gotta go. That's what the fans voted off. Not too surprised, but
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Where's your stat, Dawn?
Oh, on mine, second was Uncle Phil. Got the second most.
Donald was the only I posted all mine. I didn't get any Uncle Phil votes. All the Uncle Phil votes came from Donald's group.
Told you it's his friends. You're gonna say your friends is my friends, not them.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. If you run down our friends list, they're the same people.
Not them. They don't know me.
They just my friends. I take offense to that.
All right, so this week we're going to do summer treats. So whenever we release this on Tuesday, that is the official first day of summer. So we're going to go with food always seems to do well on here. So we're going to go with ice cream, popsicle, Italian ice, and frozen yogurt. Which one got to go?
Is frozen yogurt like Go-Gurt?
No.
No.
That's just yogurt. Frozen yogurt is like the places you go to. You can get the different flavors of yogurt. Then they have the topping bar and things like that.
Is that the
like
one
soft
where
serve, but not ice cream?
The soft serve, yeah.
Is that the one they do the little special tricks? Hibachi light?
No, that's different. That is ice cream.
Okay.
You probably had frozen yogurt and just didn't. You thought it was like soft serve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
TCBY, that was frozen yogurt. If you ever had that.
No.
That place over in the Edgewood Town Center, that used to be.
Yes, that was frozen yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that place.
Yeah. He used to stop there after the gym. You know, that's gym-like.
So, frozen yogurt got to go. I don't even know what the hell it is.
Frozen yogurt's good. I don't mind it. For me, Italian ice have to go because Italian ice is just nothing but a shaved popsicle. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Rita's, huh?
Nah. Yeah. So Italian ice is false advertisement. It's a popsicle.
I don't know. I think you give them.
That's all what it is. You take you take a popsicle and you shave it down. That's your Italian ice.
I think it's a little different than that, but
you making it sound like
shaved ice.
Like snow cones
and Italian ice are different. Like shaved ice is where it's just just literally shaved ice, and then they pour the flavor over it.
The snow cone.
Yeah, like a snow cone. Yeah.
No, that's Italian ice.
That's not Italian ice. We'll do a compare and contrast on that one day.
It's a popsicle. All that's fancy a popsicle. That's all what it is.
For me, this is pretty easy. In the summertime, I want ice cream, or I'll go to the ice cream shop or get a milkshake or something. Want that. We'll usually keep some popsicles in the fridge. Might go to Rita's for some Italian ice on a hot day. Very rarely do I ever crave frozen yogurt or want to go get frozen yogurt. So for me, frozen yogurt can go. Steve gave me his answer. He said ice cream is king, so that's not going anywhere. But you can make the argument that a popsicle or Italian ice is more refreshing on a very hot summer day. Italian ice is staying. It's safe, reliable, and Rita's Swedish fish is outstanding. Frozen yogurt is like an undrafted college player that makes the team. TCBY only existed because of all the toppings you put on frozen yogurt. Popsicles gotta go. Don't really do anything other than melt fast, and there is a difference between popsicles and freeze pops. If it were freeze pops, then they would stay, and frozen yogurt would go.
He wrote you a novel. I just read A, B, C, D. He waxed poetic about ice cream.
Yeah,
on a hot summer day.
Yeah, freeze pops is not popsicles. Not at all. Freeze pops.
No, a popsicle.
Freeze pops is a freeze pop.
What's a popsicle? Popsicle. There's very different types of popsicles.
Popsicles like a bomb pop, like the cheap stuff you get.
So what do you consider?
That's what I consider
shortcakes, strawberry eclairs,
strawberry flares, popsicle. It's on a stick.
Popsicles on sticks.
It's on a stick. Yeah.
Ice cream truck's coming. What you picking?
Wait. Strawberry eclair, like the ice cream on a stick.
Scooter crunches.
Mm-hmm.
That's ice cream. It's not a popsicle.
If it's on a stick, it's on a popsicle. It's a popsicle.
That's not ice cream.
That's not ice cream.
It's ice cream out of it.
Ice cream's on the cone.
That needs its own category. Because like the Sonic thing is not a popsicle, nor is it ice cream.
I have never heard this argument before that if it's just on a stick, it's a popsicle.
If it's on a stick, it's a popsicle.
It's a popsicle.
But it's weird because,
yeah.
So it can be ice cream on a stick, but it's still a popsicle.
If it's on a stick, it's a popsicle.
popsicle. Ice cream for me is either on a cone or in a little cup.
Yeah.
I mean, ice cream's just not ice cream, even if it's on a stick.
But what are the Sonic treats? The character ones, the Ninja Turtles. What are those? That's not ice cream.
Those are popsicles.
But what is it? What is it? What are you?
I don't know what it's actually made of.
Is that frozen yogurt? No. That's okay.
Yeah,
We'll deep dive into that another
we definitely would deep dive into that.
But
because a push-up is a popsicle.
True.
So ice cream sandwich, is that still ice cream just because it's not on a stick? Or
no, that's a sandwich.
That's ice cream.
It's ice cream.
Yes, it's ice cream, but it's a sandwich. That's its own.
What the hell's a Klondike?
Klondike's a Klondike.
Ice
it's
cream.
a sandwich.
That's ice cream.
It's a sandwich.
Who made this list? We should. We're just breaking down our own.
I was going to say, here we go again with the fucking criteria. But...
Here we go.
You get scrambled eggs.
It's just supposed to be basic. I'm logging
Ice cream
on.
truck is coming. What you going
to? Yeah, we'll deep dive into this later.
I've never heard that argument that just because ice cream's on a stick, it's a popsicle.
Ice cream truck is coming. What are you picking? Your go-to.
Ice cream truck never came around my neighborhood. Never.
Really?
Hardly
Man,
no.
we get ice cream more than you.
Really? Man, it came to the hood.
He get shaved iced. He get
That is right.
He get the Rita's truck. They don't even have a truck when they come.
That would be fantastic if that's what I got, but no. Like that's one of the reasons why I don't think I ever had WWE ice cream bar back in the day, because I hardly ever saw an ice cream truck.
Damn. They live in the hood.
Yeah,
Yes,
they do. I see them there. There's times now whenever I drive by, I go like shit. Like I'm 37 years old. I'm gonna stop for the ice cream truck. But I mean, I lucked out. I mean, even growing up, I had an ice cream stand a couple blocks away from me. So
True. Mm-hmm.
We didn't have ice
that's
cream.
why they didn't come. But
One of the better ones.
Yeah.
now, Swissvale Dairy Delight now?
No, I'm talking about back then.
Yeah, I know.
Back then were good.
Yeah, it's still good now.
Oh, is it?
Owners, yeah. Free plug for you on there. Anything else that one got to go?
Nah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into episode 91 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Make sure you like and follow us on all our social media pages. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Got our YouTube channel, got our Twitch channel, and even our TikTok page now. Everything is at Dumb Marks Pod for the username. For all the links and more, you can head over to dumbmarkspod.com and head over to prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod for our merch and help support the show. Gentlemen, final thoughts? Dome, I know you got some gaming news.
Yeah, so quick gaming news. This past Sunday was Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and it literally put me to sleep. That's how bad it was. The whole showcase was basically DLC for games that had already been out. They really didn't show anything new for me. Redfall, it looked really good, but the big thing they showed was Starfield, and it legitimately looked like a poor man's No Man's Sky. And that's getting like a lot of hate from everybody online and stuff like that. Wednesday, was it Wednesday? Either Wednesday or Tuesday was Capcom showcase.
Okay.
And no, that was actually Monday. Sorry, Monday. The main takeaway from that, the Resident Evil fans finally got their Resident Evil DLC coming out. It's called The Shadows of Rose. So if you play Resident Evil Village, it takes 16 years after Resident Evil Village. And it will star Ethan's daughter in it. And it comes out.
That's another game. Another game. Give me another game. 16 years? That's a game. DLC is like moments after.
That's what everybody was shocked about. Was like, man, that's a big long time span there. Yeah, they showed that. They showed more of the Resident Evil 4 remake. And they finally announced that RE-verse will finally be operational. And all that stuff will come out October 28th of this year. So right before Halloween. They're also going to have a Resident Evil Village Gold Edition disc that comes out that will have all that DLC for free on the disc. But if you already have Resident Evil Village, I think it was going to be maybe $14.99 for the DLC. And also they'll have a third person mode campaign. So Resident Evil Village you can play in third person with new animations and stuff. That really looks interesting to me. And also on Monday, PlayStation Plus came out, the new updated PlayStation Plus with all the different tiers. Everybody's saying that the extra tier with the PS5 games and PS4 games is definitely worth the money. But the premium tier with all the classic PS1, 2, 3 streaming and PSP games are not worth it. There is not that many games on there at all. The games don't look that great. I mean, visually they look good, but just like the titles aren't that good. Yeah.
Give it some time.
Yeah, when they kick in some more stuff. Like it's hard for me saying like they have, for me, Tekken. I'm a big Tekken player. They have Tekken 2 on there, but they don't have Tekken 1 or Tekken 3, which is very weird. I mean, Tekken 3 is the better one out of, the original trilogy, but why would you just have Tekken 2 on there and not 1, 2, and 3? Like they absolutely have no Twisted Metals on there, which is shocking. Because when PlayStation came out, Twisted Metal was like one of their biggest games, the original one. And Twisted Metal 2 is their best one, and they don't even have it on there. So got to give it a couple months. But extra, yes. Premium, no. And then yesterday? Turtles came out. Shredder's Revenge. Yep. So
you get my ass whooped, man.
Gotta give that a try.
Yep. So
gotta download it.
I downloaded it this morning. So good. If you're a PS Plus person, you get it for $22.49. I think it's on sale.
Yeah.
For $22.49. Yep.
Hey, it's sad running out alone. You can get up to 6 players and you sitting there running it alone. They're like, oh damn, this time.
Yeah, you need everybody's help. Yep. So I'll be playing that this week for sure. And that's all the gaming news I have.
Okay. Jason, you got anything?
No.
All right. With that, we'll end with a quote of the week. Sunday is Father's Day. So we'll end the quote with, "A father is someone you look up to no matter how tall you grow." So all the dads out there, hope you have a good Father's Day. All the mothers usually get the love for Mother's Day, so I hope your dads actually get some love on Father's Day this year. So.
And don't have to cook. Stay off the grill.
Jason, any sales for Father's Day that you're buying anything this year?
No, they don't have nothing. And why would I want power tools? I ain't fixing shit.
So with that, what the show? I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. And with that, catch us around the way.